Hi there, my name is Rob Farino, Emergency Management Coordinator with La Plata County Office of Emergency Management. Thank you for your time and attention today. We've got for you a brief presentation called Emergency Preparedness 101, and we've got two objectives. Number one, we want to encourage and motivate you to step up your own emergency preparedness level for you and your home and your business. And number two, we want to provide you with some tools and tips on just how to do that. Now, the presentation is fire focused, but as you can see from all the local pictures here, there's plenty of risks, other risks to be aware of, from mudslides, landslides, heavy winter storms, power outages, and hazardous materials, you name it. We're not immune from any of those risks. Right now, though, we're focused on wildfire with the upcoming fire season. So our mission in emergency management is to protect, mitigate risk, and protect the community. Well, how do we do that? Everything we do in emergency management can be fit into these 5 themes. Number one, prevention. We want to keep bad things from happening. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? These are programs like 811, call before you dig, fire restrictions during wildland fire season, not teaching kids not to play with matches, etc. We know bad things are going to happen. So what we want to do with mitigation is make those things less bad. This refers to fire mitigation you can do around your home, flood mitigation, and things like that. The other theme here, preparedness. We want to be ready to react when bad things are happening, and that includes you. This is what we're doing right here, right now, trying to get you to be informed and prepared with this public outreach. Then comes response. When bad things happen, we want to stop them as soon as we can and keep them as small as we can. In emergency management, we are in a support role, so one of the bigger things we do is our alert and warning program, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And lastly, recovery. After the bad things happen, we want to get back to normal. And the key thing here, one key takeaway, is the more work we do ahead of time with the arrangements that we're going to talk about, the easier the recovery. Almost 7 years ago, we had the 416 fire start in June, and that burned over 53,000 acres and forced the evacuation of over 500 homes. As it burned south towards Durango, it ran into Falls Creek, where they had done some extensive fire mitigation, and that enabled the fire departments to get in there, and we did not lose any residences in this fire, which is pretty amazing. Before that, in 2002, we had the Missionary Ridge Fire. That burned over 73,000 acres on its way from the 550 corridor all the way over to Vallecito Lake, and we did lose 46 homes in that fire. Out earlier this month was, from Predictive Services, a significant wildland fire potential map. You can see we're in red here, so we are at above normal risk for significant fire behavior and wildland fire potential, and that's because of a lack of snowpack, much like 2018 and 2002 when we had those 2 fires we just mentioned. Significant wildland fire potential means fires burn hotter, they ignite easier, and they're more difficult to put out. So we've created a 4-letter word here for you to remember, help you remember. We want you to be safe. The first letter of that stands for stay informed. I want you to know that there's 2 types of emergency alerts, IPAWS and Code Red. IPAWS reaches every cell phone, regardless if you've signed up or not. Phones are shipped, they come out of the box with these alerts enabled. This is the highest level of emergency alert we can send out. It means you got to get out right now, lives are in danger. They're similar to an Amber Alert if you've seen those. Code Red alerts provide us in emergency management a more targeted approach where we can draw areas on the map that we want to send that emergency alert to, and we can put different areas on different levels of evacuation, say pre-evac or get set, and then certain areas we want to go now. The thing with Code Red that we really want you to know is you need to sign up. You need to enroll in Code Red. You can sign up multiple addresses, home, work, schools. You can assign multiple ways of getting alerted. That's by a voice call, a text message, an email, or all of the above. So we want everybody in the county to sign up for Code Red alerts. Social media, you can stay informed with social media, but we want to emphasize choose your sources wisely. We want you to rely on official sources for information. For example, we have our own La Plata County pages for social media. City of Durango, Forest Service, BLM, and other agencies will put out information on the fire or the event, and that's something you can count on versus second or third hand. And then there's phone apps that make things easier to stay informed. We call that situational awareness, being aware of what's going on around you. These include weather forecasts. You want to pay attention if we're in periods of high heat, heavy winds, and low humidity. Typically, meteorologists will say that on your evening news even. So be aware when those kind of events are happening. There's also apps like Watch Duty that help you monitor fire activity. If there's a fire that starts anywhere in the county, for example, that app will send you an alert to your phone. So you'll know right when that first fire engine or aircraft is dispatched to the fire. Here's a look at the phone alerts. We want you to make sure that your phone is still enabled to receive iPause alerts. And if you go on an iPhone, from settings, you go to notifications and you scroll all the way down to the bottom. You can see the alerts are all turned on, and then where it says emergency alerts, that's on as well. If you're an Android user, here's how you get to your page. Settings, safety and emergency, to wireless emergency alerts, which is the top one. That's the iPause alert. You want to make sure that's on. You can also opt into Amber Alerts, and you can also sign up for test alerts. Test alerts on both of these enable you to receive the test alerts that we send out. And if you want to see when we send those out, that can be helpful to see what they look and feel like. The message here, the source is going to be that acronym, LPCOEM. We want you to recognize that's the official source for the alert, and we'll give you specific information, what the hazard is, where it is, what actions we want you to take, and any information, and we'll provide a link as well. And here's just an example of our La Plata County Facebook page. Next is arrangements. We want you to make as many of these arrangements ahead of time so you're better prepared. Make your own plan that works for you. You send your kid to school, they do fire drills. Why don't you do your own fire drill in the home? Can you get out of your house with everything you need in 15 minutes or less? Remember the 6 P's, if that helps. People, pets, pills, papers, personal items, and priceless items. If you plan ahead, you can quickly grab those things. If you have them listed out, maybe are they upstairs or downstairs? Divide and conquer if you've got multiple people in the home helping to get out. But these are all the things you want to remember. Make a go kit ahead of time. You want to have enough food and water for 3 to 5 days if you have to leave your house for that long. Clothes and other things can go in your go kit as well. Important documents. These are going to be things that are really hard to replace if they're lost. Things like the titles to your vehicles, birth certificates, social security cards, passports. Those are all things that you can either put in a bank safe deposit box, a fireproof safe, or have them all in one location. So if you're gathering up things ready to go, you can get those quickly and you don't have to go all over the house. Do you have adequate insurance? That's one arrangement you can make. And then you can also take photos and videos around your house to help you reconstruct and identify the contents that you may have lost. There's also apps that will help you do a home inventory as well. Login and password managers are really good to help you recover after the fact, having those logins instead of written down in a book. Make arrangements for where you're going to go. Are you going to stay with friends and family? Are you going to go to a campground? Do you have local folks? You might want to have plan B and C in case your friends and family that also live in town are also evacuated. And then we want you to work with your neighbors. Do they have a dog that's home alone while they're at work that you're familiar with and you can get out of the house for them? Or do you have neighbors who don't drive anymore? Share phone numbers and talk about your plan with them, and we need to look out for each other. It's also good to have an out-of-area contact so people can check in. Okay, fire ready. We want you to take some actions. If the evacuation alert goes out or you're on pre-evac, there's some things you can do around your house to help increase the odds of the home surviving. You can fill buckets of water around your house. You can pre-connect garden hoses, move barbecues, and move firewood away from the direction that the fire is coming from, and things like that. Some people say they're going to stay and fight the fire. We highly encourage you to do your work ahead of time, make your arrangements, and then go. It's very dangerous. It's very uncomfortable. The smoke is going to burn your eyes, burn your throat. It's difficult to see, and it's very dangerous. Embers are flying all around, so we highly discourage you from trying to stay and fight the fire. Lastly, evacuation. So you've received the alert. This is what it looks like on your phone. We've given you a link to see the map to confirm you are or are not in the evacuation zone. So we want you to know that we use Ready, Set, Go. Here's the link. It goes to our evacuation page. We should always be ready. We live in the forest. That's what we're doing now. We want you to have a plan and be ready to go when you need to. For pre-evacuation, it's called Get Set. These are the people that have a little bit more time. If the fire is going to progress to a certain point, we may switch that to Go Now, but this is the intermediate step where you're on pre-evac. We want you to get set. If you take a little bit more time or you're very nervous about the situation, there's nothing stopping you from leaving now, even though you're in the yellow zone. If you pull up the map and it's green, you need to go now. You are on Evacuate Go Now level. Don't delay, load and go. Get your animal loaded up first, or crate them, or put them in a room with the closed door. They're going to sense your stress. They may run and hide, and the last thing you want to do is be chasing your dog or cat or looking for a lost animal out on the street. So get your animals taken care of, get your stuff, and load and go, they say. Make sure you drive safe. There's going to be fire apparatus coming in. It's going to be dark and smoky possibly. There's going to be traffic to contend with, so and you're going to be stressed. So just be calm, know 2 ways out, and drive safe. Here's some more information on Ready, Set, Go. And this is what the map is going to look like. If you're in green, again, that's Go Now. Yellow zone is going to be on Get Set. So thank you again for your time and attention. We want you to stay safe, be prepared, and hopefully we don't need to use this information.